You start the wheel, I'll shape the clay.
They made it.
They made it with Pottery Craft. With Pottery Craft. With the Pottery Craft Potter's Wheel, batteries not included, you can spin pots, mugs, and dishes. Next day, when they're dry, you can decorate them the way you like.
They made it. They made it.
Hey, that looks great.
With Pottery Craft.
The Pottery Craft Potter's Wheel, with everything you need to make air-dried pottery. By Gabriel.
Wouldn't it be nice to drink a hot cup of coffee on the way to work each morning? But you can't, because ordinary cups spill. Introducing Auto Cup by Ronco, the amazing no-spill cup. Just press the lever and drink. Release it and it's automatically sealed. Auto Cup's carrying strap makes it great for golfers, bikers, skiers, boaters, even truckers. Auto Cup by Ronco, a great Christmas gift, and it's only $5.88.
Available at High School Pharmacy, Woolworth, Mart, Montgomery Wards, and Fred Meyer. Saturday at 4, school will never be the same. Jerry Lewis is the nutty professor.
Yesterday, in discussing biology, the long legs of the beetle and the wonderful body of the ant.
He's got something. And I mean to find out what it is.
Jerry Lewis is the Nutty Professor, the Saturday picture show at 4 on KPTV 12.
Have you been wanting to buy furniture but worried about credit? B&L Furniture can solve your credit problems now. You see, at B&L, we carry our own accounts. That means we can open a credit account for just about anyone, and you're no exception. B&L Furniture won't turn you down if there is any way we can help you get your credit started. So come into B&L and find the furniture you want. Then let us show you how easy it is to buy it. B&L Furniture is your credit store 7 days a week.
It's another great season to shop at Fred Meyer.
Watch for the gift circular for savings on West Bend appliances, like the 12-inch automatic skillet with Silverstone nonstick interior and Sensitemp heat control, or the West Bend electric wok, perfect to stir-fry or steam vegetables and meat. Your choice, just $28.88. And the Poppery, West Bend's hot air popcorn popper with automatic butter melter is just $19.88. It's another great season to shop at Fred Meyer.
From rock's new wave comes K-Tel's Rock 80, starring Pat Benatar. Hot licks from the Knack, Blondie, and Joe Jackson.
This year really going out with it.
Platinum power from Cheap Trick, the Ramones, and Gary Newman. Pretenders. Rock 80, a killer cut after cut. In tune with the 80s from K-Tel. Available at these and other fine stores.
It's Uncle Remus telling it as it is about all those wonderful critters. Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, Brer Bear.
Hey, there ain't nothing in here except
It's warm and alive with excitement. It's that Symphony Doodah picture, Walt Disney's Song of the South, rated G.
Now playing at theaters and drive-ins everywhere. Check your newspaper for one near you.
We sell a lot of records, and records cost a lot of money. But what good is spending a lot of money if your records don't sound good because of dust and static electricity? That's why I recommend to all our customers the new record vacuum by Ronco. It's so easy to use. Just insert any size record, 33 1/3, 45s, 78s. The new record vacuum automatically vacuums away all the microdust particles that distort sound and can damage your needle. It also eliminates static electricity buildup. The record vacuum by Ronco protects your records and gives you all the quality sound you paid for. It makes this sound like this. For the price of a couple of albums, protect your records and prevent damage to your needle. If you want the best possible sound from all your records, get the new record vacuum by Ronco. In fact, buy 2 or 3. They really do make great Christmas gifts. And they're only $14.88.
For parking my Corvette, Matchbox Garage, the best you can get.
The place I park my horse and my Dodge is right here in the good old Matchbox Garage.
There's so much to do at the Matchbox Garage. I'll never get bored with my Model A Ford.
Matchbox Super Garage. Any way you set it up, it's the perfect place for all your Matchbox cars.
Parking my 57 Chevy was never this heavy.
Yes.
The flame of democracy was lit in this nation a long time ago. And we now know nothing, not even a pandemic or an abuse of power, can extinguish that flame. And as the people kept it aflame, so too did courageous state and local officials and election workers. American democracy works because America makes it work at a local level. One of the extraordinary things we saw this year was that everyday Americans, our friends and our neighbors, independence, demonstrating outrage, they showed a deep and unwavering faith in and a commitment to the law. They did their duty in the face of a pandemic. And then they could not and would not give credence to what they knew was not true. They knew this election was overseen by them, it was honest, it was free, and it was fair. They saw it with their own eyes, and they wouldn't be bullied into saying anything different. It was truly remarkable, because so many of these patriotic Americans are subject to so much, enormous political pressure, verbal abuse, and even threats of physical violence. While we all wish that our fellow Americans in these positions will always show such courage and commitment to free and fair elections, it is my sincere hope we never again see anyone subjected to the kind of threats and abuse we saw in this election. It's simply unconscionable. We owe these public servants a debt of gratitude. They didn't seek the spotlight. And our democracy survived because of them, which is proof, once more, that it's everyday Americans infused with honor, character, and decency that is the heart of this nation.
What's up, cyberspace cadets? It's Irate Prostate, Cyber Fam, and Fambots Galore, too. It is Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for the CREEM Stream. It's 2021. CREEM Stream 2021. Like you've never seen it before. You remember when the first version of the Iron Man was like the futuristic version with the like gear looking things on his shoulders and the teeth. Yeah, I just thought about that, and so how's everybody going? I just had to remind everybody that we got a new president. So oh yeah, exactly, man. I feel you. Oh shit, son. Oh, Yeah. So we'll have to come up for a name of like adult diapers for the president. You know. I'm sorry, man. Look, I don't mean to be offensive, man. You know, it's like, and if you voted for President Biden or President to be Biden, you know, it's cool, man. I just, you know, I mean, you know, it's like it's a target that I have to hit. Oh my God, I did it again. Son of a bitch. Wow.
2021 right.
I'm starting off 2021 just right on. Jesus, Pam. Diapers.
They're his happy pants.
Man. So, well, now that we know everybody's can be heard, let's go ahead and say hey to the gallery. Shall we, chat? Before we do that, let's say hey to the chat real quick. Alex Martin, Gulf City Overwatch, I salute you. Prairie Bear, what up, girl? Johnny Bonsaco, Satin Dude. Victor Rand, howdy do. Mr. Scott, J87, I salute you as well. You're in the Secret Salute Club. Richo8181, have a drink on me, mate. Tater Raider, greetings, sir. And let's see, Roger Wilco. And Jim, one and only Jim Beam. Yes. Anyway, so before we say and Malevolent Ryder, hey man, hey Ryder. It's good to have you out there, man. Yeah, I like Ryder. He's a groovy dude. Anyhow, so let's say it to Timma. How you doing?
Hi, buddy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm sorry, I'm stuffing down the last of my black eyed peas and ham that I made this year. So.
Damn Skippy, man. I didn't even think about black eyes, man. Shit. That's
Do you know how hard they are to find up here? I've been looking for them since November. I finally found them last night. Like, no joke.
Oh, wow. So Clemson got the shit throttled out of them by Ohio State, 49-28.
Oh, shit.
Damn. Yeah, and Bama won. We beat the Golden Domers of Notre Dame. If you're a Notre Dame fan, I feel sorry for you.
Sports ball. Yes.
Yeah, sports ball, exactly. Fun stuff. So national championship will be Alabama and Ohio State. And Ohio State looked like Ohio State for once. And if you know, if you've been watching football a long time and you remember, oh God, what's that guy's name? Woody Hayes. When he went over and he punched his player. I mean, you know, that's the way coach was mad at you, man. You know.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. He sure did. Hey, also, Becca FERHLE'S in the house.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm celebrating the new year, as we all should.
You're celebrating it?
I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the train ride to the gulag.
Yeah.
I have my inmate number ready to go. Silver linings.
Mm-hmm.
We can all meet in the bread lines and have a good time.
Yeah.
Nothing will stop us.
I don't know. I think they're going to send me to the re-education camp first. You know, I'm one of them. You know, yeah. This is morbid shit.
That those bread lines are more line than bread.
Exactly. Exactly.
True.
No bread for you today.
The bread lines are a good thing.
You know, what I want to do. I'm going to talk about the movie Human Centipede, and just walk around talking about Human Centipede. I don't know why that came into my mind. I just
talk about Congress tonight.
We're gonna have to. We should watch.
Indeed.
I'm gonna have to figure out.
Dude, you need to see the third one, which is just ridiculous, and it's funny as shit. Because anyway, it's Human Centipede 3, and they have a human caterpillar as part of the movie.
I heard that the third one was more comedic.
Yes, it was very comedic. The second one was like a creepy stalker movie, man. It was great. Very greasy and gritty and black and white. It was well done.
I like slasher movies. I like Friday the 13th and Halloween. And...
Well, this dude kidnaps the cast of the first movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like a fanboy of the first movie, so it's kind of like his meta thing, right? And the dude is really sleazy looking, man. If you want to pull up a picture, it's like check it out. Speaking of, we got to see what I got a picture of. I got a picture I want to load up in here real quick because we need to look at this and talk about it.
I feel like I need an adult.
Do you?
I know.
What?
Well, let's go ahead and we'll say hey to Roasted. Hey, Roasted.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, Bubba?
Hey, it's 2021. Freaking finally. We can leave that horrible year behind and look forward with happiness and joy and optimism.
Yes. Good, man. I like that. I like that that approach, man, because
enough bad stuff's gonna happen. Enough bad stuff's gonna happen. It always does.
Dude, this year, if we don't get aliens, I'll be sadly just sad. I'll be sadly sad.
You'll be sadly sad.
You'll be sadly sad.
It's like the last thing, dude. It's the last thing. Well, I mean, what else is there? Are they gonna announce zombies? I don't think that's happening.
Nah.
Aliens, definitely, that's possible.
So long as you don't become sadly sad, we'll be okay.
Makes me a sad panda.
Dude, you want to say hey to Stone Monkey people?
Hey, Monkey.
I didn't do it.
Hey, say hey to the chat.
Say hey to the chat, dude.
Liar, you did
up.
too. You did too. You did all of it. Buddy.
Hey,
he did all
I forgot that we were streaming tonight when I took a pain pill like an hour ago.
Uh-oh.
I'm sitting here going, whoa. Whoops.
You feel like you're possibly made of rubber?
At this point, yes.
It's got to take some speed to even yourself out, man.
Right.
I was going to say monkeys turning into quicksand.
No,
you're just going to melt into
they call those speedballs, Trippy. It's
no, I'm not recommending it.
I don't either.
I was joking.
But hooray, 2021, man.
We don't recommend the use of any illicit drugs and moderate use of alcohol only if you're an adult.
Hey,
of legal age.
The best part is it's not illicit either because it's my prescription.
See, that's a problem, Ray, because I may be old enough to consume alcohol, but that doesn't make me an adult, and I don't think I ever will be.
You don't think? Right?
Oh shit, he's got a good point.
Man. The only prescribed pill I got is a blood pressure pill. I can't get high off that.
You can. You just have to mix it with the right things.
Well, you get me real high in a minute. Just take 12 of them.
La 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 la.
It won't be very long.
Then you'll be 6 feet lower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would still, my head would pop out of the dirt like an inch if I was standing.
Tonight on Breaking Bad. That was a good one, Tater.
I never saw that show. I ignored it.
Me either.
Oh, it's a killer show. It's really good.
It. My husband loved it.
I loved it. It's
kind of like Sons of Anarchy. I kind of skipped over that.
Well, and what's so cool is that it takes place over 2 years. It starts out
Sopranos. I didn't watch that either.
Why
I still
not?
haven't seen that shit. I don't know. I really don't know. It's not like I was trying to avoid most of this shit, but
hold on a second.
Like my ex, she loved.
I think you downloaded.
I just didn't. I was like, man, a bunch of old bikers. All right. That's all I kept saying. She kept getting mad at me. I was like, I'm sorry, I just cannot get scared of Peggy Bundy. Not happening.
Oh, okay. Hold on a
She
second.
shows up in your bedroom, then you'll be scared.
Fucking
Yeah, if she's asking to have
she's
sex,
like actually 6 foot tall too. So like,
I wonder if she says that Leela Hia thing, like on accident sometimes.
oh, she fucks around with people in public with that one all the time.
Yeah.
Just like
It's very unique to her character. For
Can you imagine how tall she was in full Peggy Bundy get up?
With the heels?
4-inch heels and her hair teased up 6 inches.
Right.
She must have been able to hit the bottom of the net on the basketball goal.
she was
Just
like
standing there.
Yeah, I think she
Right
was
in her
like
head.
6'4" or something like that with all that stuff done up like that. No, Katie Seagal's already a very tall woman naturally. If you look at her in
Right.
the show, Ron Perlman's like 6 foot, 6'2", somewhere between there,
I have
and
no
and
idea.
without any heels on either of them in the scenes where they're just standing next to each other, she's 6 foot.
All right, keep
She
your eye on
goes
the
up to his
screen.
eyebrows.
I just put an image up, so y'all tell me when it's popped up.
Oh, on the YouTube's there?
The
Yeah.
gulag.
Is it?
It's in the green. It's on the screen.
Well,
Yeah, look,
you don't have a
check
live
out your watch
Oh
screens.
yeah, I seen that.
Oh, it's supposed to be racist. Cancel Ren. We want everything.
No,
What's that first part?
it's
We
that's
don't have the watch screen up.
no, no. There's it's not on VLC. It's you have to look at it on your
On the YouTubes.
yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Your watch link. Sorry.
Video game, and if you guys hear clicks. Anyways.
Cancel rent.
Mm.
Oh, I said
We
Ren.
want
I didn't know it
everything.
was a T.
Yeah, see
Oh,
the
Anarchy, man.
severed
what
severed
lovely
pig's head.
ways.
This is Nancy Pelosi's house.
And paint.
What a lovely waste of sausage that is.
Nice. What? That's no, it's fake blood. But it's a real dead pig's head.
There's like a pool around the actual head, though.
Yeah.
Of dark shit. Like that's probably the pig liquids. That's pig juice.
I don't know,
Okay,
man.
that's properly disgusting.
And you know what? It's well deserved.
Didn't somebody poop in her yard too?
Man.
A couple of months back.
Yeah.
Mm.
And a bunch of hairdressers went to her house and hung like hair dryers and straighteners from her trees and stuff.
Yeah, they had a loud megaphone and they were preaching shit out there.
Yes.
People to fucking learn politics for real.
learn the politics.
Bombs. Yeah. They were based irate. They just hung hair dryers in the trees, and they cleaned up after they were done too. From what I heard, like they pulled everything they put up there down when they were going home. They decided to clean it up. That was nice of them.
Yeah.
Hey, Lindsay.
Pelosi was home though.
Probably not.
See, Roger, I said Roger Wilco earlier, didn't I? But I see Lindsay and Turish. Yay.
If we could get a camera into Nancy Pelosi's house and then convince her that a bunch of black people were coming over, I wonder what we could tape her saying in response to that.
I would love to have that tape.
How many racisms she would squirt out before, before she shut her fat fucking face. You know what I mean? Like if she was convinced it was going to happen, but it didn't. And like some people were knocking on the windows and just spooking her out, not really breaking nothing. But just a punk, punk her ass. See what she says.
Well, think of all the black people she fucking stuck.
Well, yeah.
But
I'm saying, like, let's get Ashton.
By just playing politics with the fucking funding.
Is it Bieber now? Whoever's hosting that show, if it's still around, we need to get her punked. It would work too. That shit would be fucked up.
Bieber.
She'd be all sorts of N-word this and N-word that.
Remember?
You know damn well she would.
Do you remember the Justin Timberlake crying on Punk?
No.
Yeah, man.
I remember. Yes, I do.
Yeah. No. They were telling they were the IRS and they were taking all of his shit away.
Oh,
Right. It took his guitar and shit. He was crying. He's on the phone. Mama, they're taking my shit. It was funny.
They're taking my stuff.
And actually, I like Justin Timberlake. He is an entertaining dude. So
They took a shit.
That dude can be funny.
He can be funny, man. Remember when SNL was funny? Yeah, he was on there once or twice. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, dude,
He
Chevy
was dressed
Chase.
as that giant egg or pancake or whatever Bieber or Timberlake was dressed up as. That shit was fucking hilarious.
Or how about the Bee Gees when they played the Bee Gees? I can't remember who it was, but they were funny as hell, man.
Okay.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Justin Timberlake playing like one of the Bee Gees.
Was he in one of those documentary movies or something? Like was it one of those? Like a biography film or something?
You can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a Chinese chef. All right. All right, fam. Let's go ahead and go in the other room. Just so they could see the Martin Luther King.
I see Nancy fucking Pelosi because I got the watch page open.
Yeah.
That's Skeletor, bro. That is Skeletor.
Yeah, it was
nasty. Gross.
it was Martin Luther King Jr. saying, I have a dream and y'all keep fucking it up.
Yep.
Yeah. He was bright. Y'all keep fucking it up. Ray, have you seen the episode of the Boondocks where Martin Luther King comes back to life?
No, I don't. I've never seen the Boondocks, man.
That is an episode that has the most N-words in it, I think, actually.
But they say that two of the characters are taken from the main characters in the Boondocks. The kids are based on these two characters on The Wire. Called Snoop and Chris, man. They're a hit team.
Nice.
Yeah, man, they're crazy. It's pretty wicked shit. So,
and there she is.
Yes, our lovely demon tranny lady thing.
Your lady.
Yeah.
That's your demon.
She and her. Remember, she and her. Got them.
She owns roasted
those
trees.
pronouns, you got to get them right now. She and her. Because now now the Democrats run everything, so we got to be politically correct, at least verbally correct.
You gotta incorporate the drag queen thing too. I think that one's a drag queen.
No. That's a spectral sexual, right? Their sexuality is a spectrum. And whatever color they are that day, that's their sexuality. And I'm down with that, right? Because it mixes race and puts it all together. I think I just created something. I need to quit thinking. I need to quit thinking. As they say.
The deep end.
Well, all right. So, what? Did anybody have anything happen this week? It's been kind of
Yeah, I got Mom's ring for her birthday, and I gave it to her, and she loves that.
Yeah.
That everybody helped me raise money for. So she got her birthday present early.
You're a good son, Trippy.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I told my sister about it on the phone the other day, and she was like, "Well, thanks for showing me up. Damn it! Now what do I do?"
That's right.
Mom was on the phone with us, She's like, Mike over here showing me up, buying her you a ring and shit. What am I supposed to do? I was like, buy her a bigger ring.
Exactly. Put your money where your mouth is. And if you want the demon tranny and the flames to go away, I can do that. But only if we make a special deal.
I think we need to bump up the guess a little bit. All right.
In what?
They're still. I think we need to bump up the gain a little bit on the guests. The folks in the chat are still talking about having trouble hearing. Well, hell, Tater is having trouble hearing Trippypoop.
Try it now.
I mean, loud.
All right.
Or is it on my end?
He's loud on my end too.
Oh shit.
All right.
You guys got to turn me down on your own.
Everybody just listen on that. Go around your YouTubes and see how that's sounding. All right, because I just bumped. All right, I bumped the main out, which is y'all, on max. So I've maxed it out. Roasted coming in a little hot.
Yeah, he is.
All right, try it now, Roasted.
How are we doing?
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Try it again. Roasted?
Roasted?
Say it.
Can you hear? Mic check, test 1, 2.
I hear Roasted.
All right, sounds good. Everybody, yeah, kind of try to keep everybody at the same level.
I don't want to be over it.
Right, and Mike's is, it's never the same, day by day.
Yeah.
Discord, Windows updates and all the different updates, they mess every fucking thing up.
Well, even if you don't have a lot of software that you're using for your sound, because I've decided to go more mechanical than software because Windows is an asshole. Even then, if you have anybody who's, I don't know, under the age of 25 in your house, your dials are going to get touched.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just
Okay.
everything gets fiddled with.
Drippy Tits, I'm sorry, donated $3.33. It says the MPAA has fucked the industry. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the donation. $3.33. I guess we can make the things a little more pleasant visually.
Why always that one?
It's the thing to do. It's the thing to do. Mm-hmm.
It's the thing or a thing?
I don't know, things that make you go poo.
Why, Trippy?
Why?
Like that song, we need to make a version of it. Things that make you go poo.
That was done a long time ago.
We'll do another one.
Don't be messing with
We'll
the Music Factory.
We're not aware of the other one. We'll just pretend. That's all we got to do.
Okay.
I didn't know Spider-Man was a thing. I drew that.
Okay.
I feel like I'm taking over the show, Irate.
Trippy.
No, we're doing good. It's like I've got some select stuff to look at tonight, and we can take our time with it. It's like there's two. All right, see if I can pull them up and look at them for a second and tell you. All right, so we got one thing about. I don't know. It's really, this is more about the press than anything. All three of these reels are about, and the first reel has some other stuff thrown in with it. But it's the last one I did, but it'll be the first one we look at. How's that? So.
All right.
Yeah.
Works for me.
All right, we'll go to the TV room, and I'll pull you all up the TV, as they say.
Oh, happy days, happy days.
All right. What?
Oh no, his reaction set me off.
It looks like he's caught in mid-prostate exam.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a
face like
bad-
he's just like,
He's getting boinked.
That's good. That's good. That's
default
good
face.
pause game.
Alright,
That's
so-
good pause game.
All
right. You ready? All right, we're just gonna set this thing going and see what happens.
Today to praise Donald Trump, not to bury him. Outgoing President Trump deserves our thanks.
Hold on.
Paraphrase and flip William Shakespeare. I come to you at the end of the show today to praise Donald Trump, not to bury him. Outgoing President Trump deserves our thanks for approving Operation Warp Speed, which helped to bring us the COVID vaccine. He has rethought trade deals. He has reimagined peace in the Middle East. He has pushed foreign policy consensus to put more of a priority on bringing U.S. service members home, even if his follow-through has been rather wanting. These are legitimate achievements. There are other ways outgoing President Trump perhaps inadvertently has done us a service. The relationship between the news media and the U.S. government should not be anywhere near as antagonistic as it's been under President Trump, but it should be adversarial. Maybe Trump has been right to not attend the dinners where politicians and reporters cozy up to each other. Maybe he exposed as unseemly something that should not
He's going to say
return to normal.
in seconds, isn't he?
The president has also exposed the problem that so many of our standards and norms in the U.S. seem to be based upon the honor system. There isn't, for instance, an explicit law against a U.S. president trying to extort a foreign country to provide dirt on a domestic political opponent. A government upheld upon the honor system only works if everyone involved has honor. This seems something that legislators should re-examine. And then finally, let us look at the events of the last week, where the president pushed an insane lawsuit, the big one, he called it, from the Attorney General of Texas. It was a clownish legal brief based on conspiracy theories and outright lies. And 18 state attorneys general, some U.S. senators, and a majority of the House Republican caucus, 126 members, supported it. President Trump did us a favor by exposing these elected officials. They are definitionally people who signed on to a desperate desire to subvert the will of the American people, to disenfranchise voters in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, based on lies and conspiracy theories, putting an immoral and corrupt power grab above democracy. President Trump did us a favor by revealing to us that those individuals...
Tapper.
Yeah.
Says former glow-in-the-dark Tapper.
Oh, he's probably still...
Really? Really? We're supposed to believe anything this motherfucker says? He spent 15 years working for the CIA.
Don't you love... Oh, my God. And there's so much of this hypocrisy and this twisting of shit.
It's all gaslighting in a half.
No shit, man. This is like I feel like I've watched a David Cronenberg movie or shit after I listened to this for a little bit.
It's like a really bad rewriting of Tom Clancy.
Maybe some fucking I don't know David Lynch even shit.
War-esque recreations of Art of
fucking
War.
daytime soap opera levels of fucking.
We're in a bad David Lynch
awful.
show. Yes. All right, so let's keep rolling with this guy.
Sorry, are who they are, and that's important as we go forward because the business of this nation continues. The pandemic, the economy, foreign policy, immigration, and now we know clearly how much these individuals care about facts or truth, how much they care about democracy or the principles that make this country great, which is to say, not at all. Since Election Day, we've seen Republican officials at great professional and personal risk refuse to go along with these lies about the election. From CISA Chris Krebs to Philadelphia Commissioner Al Schmidt and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, Michigan Board of State Canvassers member Aaron Van Langeveld, members of the Maricopa County, Arizona Board of Supervisors. From local judges all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, we saw honorable American officials look at these nonsense allegations and kick them to the curb. But not Republicans on Capitol Hill. Now, many Americans hoped that most Republican officials, while they agreed with Trump's policies, did not like the uglier parts of his style, his willingness to lie or smear to achieve his ends. And the cowardly silence of Senate Republicans, most of whom still refuse to acknowledge that President-elect Biden won. Their silence allows that hope to continue.
Not
however
my
misguided.
president for 4 fucking years.
But President Trump made House Republicans go on the record. He made them stand and be counted. And
11 years of being called domestic terrorists by Democrats.
If I hear not my president one more time.
Yeah, do you really want to talk to me about legitimacy and, all the hate mongering and the name calling coming from fucking Trump? 11 years straight of calling anybody who is a libertarian or constitutional constructionist or associated with the Tea Party in any way, shape, or form. They have called us domestic terrorists for over a decade, and they have the fucking balls to sit here. Oh yeah, well that came with it. That was that little domestic terrorist title automatically meant you were some separatist group. that they tried to associate Randy Weaver with. Okay.
Later, Tater.
Later, Tater. Tater Reed.
126 of them, including Republican leader Kevin McCarthy and Republican whip Steve Scalise. They actually signed their names to this unconservative, undemocratic, un-American, mendacious joke of a law.
But it is constitutional. It's constitutionally okay.
So whip or wimp?
Whip. A whip is like the guy that's supposed to fire everybody up and get them to agree to a vote, right?
Hype man.
You better vote like this, nigga. That kind of shit. So
you ain't vote for me.
That would disenfranchise millions of their fellow Americans. These House Republicans raised their hands. They said, "Sign me up." The hope that most Republicans in the House were better than this, that's been destroyed. For those of us who believe in standards and norms and the U.S. Constitution, we need to thank President Trump for bringing this fact to light.
When I saw the media acting like, oh yeah, ha, 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 it's over. Oh,
check this shit out, man. This is great. This is fantastic. Go Chunk. This is some of his premium material.
Chunky
Premium.
Yogurt man.
You gotta pay that.
Every time he comes on, all I think about is horses.
You guys, it's okay. He's young and he's a Turk.
We're on the down low, people. Right?
He's young and a Turk.
Mom's the words.
Al Jazeera.
Check us out. I seriously think Anna is fixing to make a move professionally, and she may try to go to Fox.
You're just being conspiratorial. No, Donald Trump believes in America. No, he's not going to go that far. No, I know and you don't, and I was right and they were wrong. So
which media?
Okay, you
which
take
media?
The media that
Jake,
is now.
I watch the media all day. Literally, the moment I wake up, 5 in the morning, I'm up. And I'm watching the news nonstop until I'm on air for this show. So I want to know who you're talking about, because clearly I'm missing it. All I hear 24/7 is like anti-Trump stuff, fear-mongering about Trump, okay? Like just the opposite of what you're referring to.
She's got a point.
She's fucking based. Holy shit.
Yeah,
is it me or is her forehead getting bigger?
It's getting bigger.
Yeah, it's that bun in the back's pulling her almost pulling her fucking face off of her face.
She looks like
pretty
the Mother
tight.
Superior from Dune.
A couple years ago, she was, she was totally bangable, but now
she's getting a little rough here. Yeah,
I don't know. She's still better looking than Chink. Just saying.
So maybe I'm just not seeing what you're seeing. That's why I'm asking you which media.
She's got all like nice.
And this is all right. So this is some. I think this is Portland.
I was gonna say
Timma.
this kind of thing.
Looks like you're part of the country. But this is this is, I think this is the what do they call it? The free zone. The
Chaz too.
Chop.
Chaz chop.
Actually, we call it pause, but I don't know what it's actually called.
The flippity floppity floop.
Spectral Umber has what is happening?
That's just disgusting. I don't know.
Are they just pissing on the grass and letting it run off? Jeez.
That is some prime real estate right there.
Hey, the reason I'm going to go with some CNN and some quote enemy ammunition here is because I think we need a healthy dose of this shit to give us a new perspective to go into this new year with open eyes, with open ears, and and speaking up when you hear the horse shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to fire people up. Freedom. That's right. I am Braveheart. That's right. All right. So there's a dude in the town, right, that is shutting restaurants down is from the health department. This guy is blocking him in. So he can't go anywhere else and shut anybody else down.
Good.
Huh? Did y'all see that?
I saw that, yes.
I saw a headline on it. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, because he wants to come in here and say no one can work, so he can't work either.
Squeaky brakes on that.
Where do you work? Bread and barley, right there.
Are you, what's his brother?
I'm Carlos Roman.
The owner of Bread and Barley? Okay. So you're the owner of Bread and Barley, right? So this guy's saying that you can't work?
Yes. Health department. Yeah, he decided to come today and take pictures of people outside and say that you gotta fine us and we can't work out here. So if we can't work, he can't work.
Fuck yeah.
Better get your supervisor out. Get John fucking Curley out. Because I ain't using my truck. Someone's coming. I'm not moving.
Someone's coming.
If he requests a supervisor, you have to supply one.
This is what happens when people get desperate. I'm desperate. Who's going to pay her car payment? Who's going to pay my cook's rent?
Listen, I will get a supervisor out here for you, but just so it's not hard on us, so traffic can go through.
I want it to be hard on everyone.
Does that sound like Stone Mexican guy a little bit? This dude.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. Yeah,
a little bit.
I want everyone to see how hard this shit is. Everyone that wants to come out here and eat, they can't. Everyone that wants to drive down Citrus and visit one of the restaurants, but they can't. This guy needs to know how hard it is. That's what he needs to know. You're out here enforcing, doing your job. Did you get a paycheck on Friday?
I agree with you, Lindsay.
My people don't. I bet you got a paycheck, didn't you? You're just doing your job, right? We're all in this together. When I go to the bank, do I tell the bank the health department said it's okay? The health department said I don't have to pay you? The health department said I can't make a living?
Hey, sir.
I can't make any money?
Sir.
Is that what I tell the bank?
Sir. Can you step over here for me, please?
What do I tell my employees?
Calm down.
What do I tell my employees? He's out here enforcing it. You don't enforce a fucking rule without any consequences. There's consequences to everything in this world.
Can you come out over here, please?
That's what the cops.
There's consequences.
Sir.
Do you know the consequences?
She can't actually
They can't
stop him
pay
from
their
what
bills.
he's doing.
Fuck me. This isn't about me. They can't pay their bills.
Well, his truck is blocking in the car, and they want him to move
Could be
it.
disabled though. Could be disabled
All right,
though.
this was in the sky. Check this out. All right, and I've got an explanation for it though. All right,
Someone to pick me up.
look at that.
Dude, that airplane dropped its sure a little too high.
Nah, that's a different from it. It's made of aliens. Can't you see? Watch it stops from there. It's just, and then once Buddy gets out, it's more gas and it flies away.
Yeah, I've been curious as to what that actually is.
Yeah, what's the official explanation?
All right, and one of the explanations is it's a contrail and it's just reflecting a sunset.
That could be possible, but it doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
That's not shaped right.
I know. It's like I keep looking at it. I'm going, no, man, that looks like something that's on fire in the fucking, you know,
exactly.
sliding
that
in the.
something's coming.
Yeah.
That's, came through slightly just above the atmosphere, just enough to.
And it's got a sharp front edge to it. It's got
You
a
know,
hard edge to it.
That's something that could be. No, it could be. We've got these. There's these experimental aircraft that bounce off the. They bounce off the atmosphere, and it's part of the propulsion, and I think it has to do with hypersonic. So I don't know, man. I saw that. I'm going, whoa, dude.
I heard the jetpack guy's been active lately.
Starting 1/1/2021. 4:20 p.m.
Well, you do know in one of the bills that just passed, there's a not a request, but I guess an order for the Pentagon to release everything they have on the UFO program and UFOs. And
180 days.
For 180 days.
Ray, could you imagine if they were like, yeah, we know people been getting abducted. We just can't do shit about it. Stop asking us.
Right. It's just like, it's one thing, it's all a circle jerk, man. I think come on, man. Out of all the years they're going to do it now. Why? Because people are going stir crazy in their fucking houses. It's been a year, goddammit. It's time to fucking take the boot off the neck.
Yeah.
Because people are getting fucking pissed off.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean, it's all, this is lizard brain shit that's going on with people.
Yeah.
And the lizard brain is not as rational.
But the masks are like condoms, according to people I know in person.
Right? Oh, I've got a great dude. Just wait.
I don't know. It looks to me like it's something that's not particularly large or long. It very well could be. It could be the Flash coming in. Who knows? But it looks to me like it very well could be part of an old space station. It could be a satellite that was used for observation coming down.
Maybe.
There's a lot of these things out there.
Can't zoom in anymore.
No, actually, China.
I know what it is, you guys. It's a fucking Dragon Ball. Duh.
It's possible.
It's Vegeta, man.
China or India. Or it could be from South America. There's lots of countries that actually launch stuff into space.
Pretty big.
It's almost gone.
It's the Titanic falling from around orbit.
It's Christmas
really
special
weird.
number, whatever. That was a good one, though.
This is super scientific.
Oh, they got the coof.
I think it's just a plane, but it's like the...
I don't think it is. It's not leaving a trail.
It's like slowing down.
That's burning. Something's burning. What is that?
It is kind of
that. I mean, don't you see the
like sped up or slowed down at all?
Yeah, right. Like it's awfully slow. Like it's on a time or some shit. It was Underdog.
Did you see that?
Just stoned and it's weird.
Underdog.
No.
Yeah, you pay close. I might need to make this image bigger. I'm going to make the TV and the capture bigger because you got to see this to really get the gravity.
Underdog.
Whoops.
No.
I see him.
This is God.
Underdog, man.
Carl showed me this video.
Whoops.
It's still on my end. Is my shit broken?
No, it's still on my end.
Oh,
too.
What's on your end? What are you talking about?
All I see is the lady standing next to a dog.
Oh yeah, I've got it paused.
Okay.
I'm trying to move the picture and everything.
Okay.
Let me
blow it up a little.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that.
Zoom in heads.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it looks like she has no head at the moment.
Same.
But
we got to make it bigger.
Her hand up her head.
I'm really fuckered up.
Her hat matches the background, is why.
Watch her mask. It's all about the mask.
Yeah, so watch. Oh God.
It's all about the man.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
It sounds like a little firework.
You are definitely ready for this. She's walking her dog, remember?
Walking that doggy.
She takes off her mask.
Oh yeah. Scoop it
And pick up that po-po.
Now, I hear that she puts it the other way around back on. So you can turn the mask around.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she did.
And it's Mia Khalifa, the porn star. It's that porn star lady.
Oh my God, no.
She said it was her on Instagram or whatever. She was like, yeah, that's me. At least I'm not an anti-masker, was her quote.
I thought it was good. And this chick is like, oh, snap, bang, Yeah.
This nigga is on the freeway naked.
All I hear is that. That's all.
We got the inline skates and shit.
You got the.
All we see is the pause screen.
I don't know if it's a dude or a chick. I really can't tell. It's so far away.
You can't see it.
Can't see it.
No, all we see is the VLC taskbar.
Look at this nigga.
What the fuck? This is Portland. I know
Never
exactly
mind.
where
Bring back the taskbar, please.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I know where that is. That looks exactly like Portland.
Oh, much better. Thank you.
Why?
Oh my god.
And the cute little piglet. Gonna put him to sleep. Watch it. It's magnificent. Oh my god.
We're still seeing the taskbar, Irate.
I don't know why.
We're
Yeah,
still
that bar
seeing.
thing he came back up. It was Roasted's fault. He did it with his brain powers.
Yep,
Okay.
sorry.
Well, that'll make
That's
it easier.
Espíritu Santo, amén. Y alabamos, Señor, y te bendecimos.
And you look at the priest starts cracking up, man. He thought that was cool.
Nació de la Santísima Madre de Dios. Gracias, Padre, que nos nació.
New tonight, secretly recorded audio of First Lady Melania Trump saying she doesn't care about being in magazines, just as the president.
Because it's near the end of the presidency, and the most important thing we've got to do now is to rip on Melania, his wife.
Isn't it
because
sad, though? She doesn't respect that the fucking magazine. Who gives a fuck if she doesn't go on a magazine? I got more respect for her now.
I give a shit. Like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
Lashes out over it online. The president slamming the fashion press for allegedly keeping the First Lady off magazine covers. He called Melania Trump the greatest of all time. The new audio tonight coming from former friend and aide of the First Lady. And that's
I'm just saying, man, she is a hell of a lot better looking than Michael. Okay,
Fuck yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna say it right now. She's the most attractive First Lady we've had this century.
Maybe ever.
And laugh.
Maybe
She
ever,
is a
man.
very attractive woman. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say none of you guys were trying to get into Abe Lincoln's wife's pants. I heard she was super ugly.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't homely. She was depressed. She had melancholia. Yeah, she suffered major depression.
I heard she was also convinced that she was a psychic too.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, after her son started dying off, and then her husband was shot, she kind of lost her mind.
Yeah, that might do it to you.
Yeah.
She spent the after
I got psychic powers. I can see the future.
After Mary Todd got to Springfield, Illinois,
I want to run this
in the same room for the rest of her life.
Published a tell-all book earlier this year about working for Melania Trump and on the Trump inauguration in 2017.
We can, this would probably be a good time for everybody to talk over this.
Have a cigarette.
It's because it's just like, you're just getting backstabbed by a friend on national television, because she wanted to make some money.
Good to see you too, and thank you for having me, Don.
I'm not a con or anything.
Cashing in.
Oh God, she looks
like
Trump
in the spring of 2018.
She's got a very
press
look at that
jawline.
Pronounced chin, yeah.
What the fuck is up with
Pretty
that?
chinny.
Well, I was just I was just curious as to how long I had to hold that check before I could cash it.
Oh, is she the one that Melania's friend that caught the comments about Christmas?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Same chick, same book.
It might be a cover. I'm like, might be a cover. I don't give a about Vogue and any magazine. I have other stuff that they want to do. Or other magazine. I'm like, for what? What I will do for?
No.
Another photo shoot? Go and get images and get the pictures, and you will see me. Okay.
What's on the fucking news?
You're not the September cover.
Are you kidding me?
But
No
do you
way.
imagine if you were? Like,
No
that
way.
would have been.
Yeah, but they would never do it.
I know.
Right,
You would
she's
never
not
do
pumping
it.
for that shit. She just knows better.
Hey, no way. All these people, they are so mad. They are so, you know, some people, they say like, well, they're jealous. They want to be you. They cannot believe they're all these designers that they, you know, they say, oh, we will never dress her. Like, it's almost like I need their help. You understand? But doing so much more important stuff.
That's what she did wrong.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's why. It's like, do I care? I don't.
Damn. She dropped that knowledge.
So what did she do?
She committed the greatest sin, and she pointed out that they're frivolous and they don't fucking matter, and she's awesome as she stands on her own.
Right.
And that is where she fucked up. With these little group of people and these elitists in these circles,
Yeah.
they all think that the person themselves can't be an attractive and happy person and successful without having the right decorations put upon them. And she just straight out said, this is all frivolous. I don't care about this. I have other things I can actually go do.
Do more
Not to
important
mention
things.
Yeah. Not to mention that all those things that they're talking about having to do in order to be successful as one of the elites like Melania is done by people that are hired and paid more money than most people make for, you know, like working full-time as an auto body mechanic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a personal assistant. They're paid $150,000 a year to get my coffee. What, you're not fucking smart enough to get your own coffee?
Well, sometimes those personal assistants are available 24/7, and like, I guess it depends on how you're hired and what you're doing. But I hear what she said. See, I never paid attention to those tapes. I was so offended by them. I said, I'm not listening to this shit. I'm not listening to this.
Which she is, but Melania knew the difference between going into the White House as the First Lady married to the 45th President of the United States of America versus being just Melania Trump.
Okay. I get what you're saying. It's him. It's her. He cared about it. She really doesn't. And she understands when you're the First Lady, and if you're married to the president, a fashion cover or whatever.
No, this president. If you're married to this president, Don.
Got it. So,
very different.
Listen, we asked for a statement from the First Lady, but haven't heard back.
She's married to somebody who's got billions of dollars. How dare she?
How dare she?
Fucking successful millionaire on her own before she met him.
How dare
Oh yeah, but she married one of the most successful tycoons in the United States. So naturally
Melania.
Yeah.
Melania. She married Donald Trump. He's one of the most successful real estate tycoons in the United States. So naturally, we got some jelly going on. I need to get some toast made.
Right.
Yeah, it's Johnny Bon Sacco is in the chat screaming the exact same thing I'm screaming. It's just because she's married to Trump. It's all Trump's fault. Everything is Trump's fault. She can't be on fashion magazine covers because of Trump and all this kind of shit. And it's like, really? Really?
Right.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane that people get that fucking jelly. Gotta take her to jelly school.
Well, it's not even that they're jealous. They're pissed that she doesn't fall in line with their little power structure they've created in their own world.
Right. She's not a Stepford wife.
She just operates outside of their little hierarchy. She doesn't give a shit.
Right.
You know, they want her to go dress up and look pretty. She's like, I've already done that. You can go find that in the annals of history. I've got like big girl shit to do over here now. I'm out.
So she's raising the
And that's
next
literally
king
what
of the
she said.
world.
Uh-huh.
I believe.
She is. I don't know. That boy's so fucking tall.
Dude, he is. I mean, really, anyway. All right, so let's roll.
Back in her previous statement, the First Lady's Chief of Staff blasted you for recording Melania saying, secretly taping the First Lady and willfully breaking an NDA to publish a salacious book is a clear attempt at relevance. And goes on from there, the Justice Department is suing you for breach of confidentiality. What do you expect to happen in this case?
Well, we've already filed to dismiss the case. It's really meritless, and it really is the Department of Justice.
Well, did you sign an NDA? Hello? If she signed an NDA, then they can sue her. It's not meritless because you wrote a fucking book. You're on fucking CNN, bitching about your former friend.
Just working on behalf Donald and Melania as their own personal lawyers, as opposed to, the country's. So I'm really not that worried about it.
Try to
and I didn't
distract.
break my NDA. So complicated, but not worried.
Yeah, this is exactly what she did. Isn't it funny, man? These people, they show you exactly who they are by the words they use.
I didn't break my NDA. I just provided tapes of my boss.
Okay.
But I didn't actually say anything.
All right. This next film we have is, Becca's favorite.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's her favorite news anchor and
He's the bestest.
truth giver.
Oh no.
Truth provider, Mr. Brian Stelter. And so we've got a little bit of Brian, and Brian is going to commiserate, or the exact opposite, whatever that is.
I love Bri. He's so great.
He is, and he can be. He looks oily, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
It's like, damn, you got
oily.
some oil going on there, dude. All right.
And he's younger than me, but he looks like he's at least 20 years older.
Indeed.
Yeah. So sad.
Greasy little bitch.
Really interesting turn of events, and good for those who covered what was a story all along.
All right, now I want you to hear what Jim Acosta says to her when she leaves. I just threw this in at the beginning to like kind of tee off the direction of this damn thing, because you are going to get pissed, people. If you're going to watch this, it's like it's my job to present you what they've been doing for the past 4 years. And we, so I'm just priming it, man. I'm priming the gun here, the weapon. Don't mean to, hurt you with it. Please don't take it personally.
All right, just being prepared.
And not Russia disinformation.
Isn't it hypocritical for you to accuse others of disinformation when you spread it every day?
I noticed that about Trump aides on CNN. I mean, there were times in 2017 when Kellyanne Conway was on this network all the time. I remember interviewing her a few times and feeling like each time it was less valuable. Like I was getting less of value and substance each time. Did you have similar experiences? And you were doing it almost every week. And of course, except for the weeks the White House wouldn't provide any White House Trump administration guests. Did you feel like there were diminishing returns because you weren't getting...
What?
Oh, I said he hasn't sweated off his makeup yet. He's got like 4 minutes before that happens.
Say it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be muted because I can't help but laugh the entire time Stelter speaks because I watch Hard Bastard streams and
oh yeah, what is Hard Bastard?
Mark Dice, so every time I hear him talk, I hear other people pretending to be him, not him, and I just start snickering and snickering and snickering.
Are you gonna add my imitation to the lexicon there? I mean,
okay, everybody, hold on a second. I was gonna say.
I mean, you don't have to say that because I'm your friend or anything. I would never use anything against you. I'm just saying,
that dude could be the clown from Spawn.
Oh God! Maybe that's who it is in disguise, man. It would make sense in this world.
It's John Lego's. It's gay white John Leguizamo.
I was gonna say it's John Leguizamo in a fat suit.
Oh my God!
He had to be on his knees for that whole role. I respect that.
Dude.
He's already so goddamn short.
I think they said he's over 6 foot. I think. I might be
John
wrong.
Leguizamo?
I don't think so.
No, he's like 5'3".
Oh, okay.
All right, let's roll with the changes here and let's make it through this reel alive. I think we can do it.
In the truth?
Well, there are some people that are such, they're just so mendacious, I just wouldn't put them on air. Kayleigh McEnany, I never booked her. Jason Miller from the Trump campaign, I would never book him. I mean, these are just people who just...
I never booked them.
Why wouldn't you book it? Why wouldn't you book Kayleigh, man? Because you fucking hand his testicles to him?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, man? Jesus Christ.
We get a boner
I
on TV.
never put them. I would never ever have my ass handed to me on my own show.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. That's exactly what it is. Only a moron would do that. He's kind of right about that, but whatever.
You just tell lies the way that, most people breathe. And there was no value in that.
Jake, what was most difficult for you about the last 4 years? I found it sometimes really hard to explain all of the whataboutism, all of the rhetorical techniques that we've seen from Trump and the pro-Trump media. I say there's disinformation campaigns out there, and they say that CNN is producing disinformation. It's this whataboutism, saying whatever you're doing, actually they're doing. I found very difficult these campaigns of confusion. And our job is, as you said, look through the camera and explain what is actually true. What did you find most difficult about the last 4 years?
Well, there are two things, I think. One is just the notion that President Trump was very skilled at making facts and decency into partisan issues. So if you stand up for just something that's not true, or you stand up for something that is, I stand up against something that the president was doing that was indecent. The way he went after John McCain as a very early example. I prefer people who weren't captured, smearing just the very concept of prisoners of war as people that we should be honoring. That a lot of people felt.
I would say that that's a fair point. Okay, that's the only one I've given him.
Well, for that, and a lot of reporters, we should point out, they ran away from it. They bought into the proposition. Well, Donald Trump is making facts and decency into partisan football, so I don't want to be aligned with standing up for that fact because somebody might tag me as a Democrat. That I think was challenging, and I think, frankly, a lot of our colleagues in the news media failed that test. Then the second thing is
being tagged as a Democrat's a fucking badge of honor with you cocksuckers. I mean, come on, man. Just announcing, that, it's just like the mask. The mask is a signal. I'm in the club. I'm in the cool kids club. This is fucking high school shit, y'all. Jesus.
Look, doing interview shows is, we're not wired as human beings for conflict. We're actually wired against it. People. That's why people get away with lying on some.
Well, no, there's fight or flight. We're wired for both.
Yeah.
Right? We're wired to fight, and defend, or we're wired to run.
Look at his little fucking Joker face.
But that's a switch that's in your brain, man. He's full of shit.
Many interview shows because it's difficult to confront somebody. And I think one of the things about the Trump era was you kind of had to steel yourself for interviews with people that might misrepresent the facts and might so at a certain point once somebody proved themselves to be a liar, I just stopped booking them. But sometimes you just had to steel yourself for an interview because you just didn't know how off the rails it might go.
I noticed that about Trump aides on CNN. I mean, there were times in 2017 when
Lindsay puts it perfectly. It's a big club and you ain't in it. That's right.
Kellyanne Conway was on this network all the time. I remember interviewing her a few times and feeling like each time it was less valuable. Like I was getting less of value and substance each time. Did you have similar experiences? And you were doing it almost every week. And of course, except for the weeks the White House wouldn't provide any White House Trump administration guests. Did you feel like there were diminishing returns because you weren't getting the truth?
Well, there are some people that are such.
Oh my gosh!
My God, they had the best ratings they've ever had in the existence of their fucking the channel, the whole fucking right.
Yes, sir.
See,
Do you love how they use the word truth?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not giving the truth, but we're still there asking stupid ass questions that lean one way. You just won't play our game, guys. You won't play.
Like Stephen Colbert's truthiness.
Ugh.
Back when he was popular on that channel.
Back when he used to be funny?
I don't really know if he was funny then or if he just had decent writers.
Been at least 10 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Hard to tell. Colbert sucks.
Oh, Colbert, he hasn't been funny in a long time.
Right.
He was funny when Bush was a Republican, but once the Republican Party started changing, that wasn't funny anymore. It just sounded mean girl.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep rolling. Brandon's got a lot to say. And he has got to say it. Come on now. He's got friends.
If you don't listen to him, he's going to give you such a sting.
We're going to be looking at the friends and talking to them about the bad orange man. Because he's horrible and terrible. For God's sakes. And the truth is the truth. Not what you think it is. It's what I say it is. The truth is what I say it is. What they tell me to say.
I know it.
They're just so mendacious, I just wouldn't put them on air.
To be the other guy on CNN.
Kayleigh McEnany, I never booked her. Jason Miller from the Trump campaign, I would never book him. I mean, these are just people who just tell lies the way that most people breathe. There was no value in that. I don't view Kellyanne Conway the same way. She was a senior advisor to the president. She was more of a filibusterer and a subject changer, I thought.
Yeah, subject changer. That's right. That's what she would do.
Than a liar. And I think it's different.
So you notice a respect for Kellyanne Conway now. Because, because of how she left. Right? They were fucking part of that. Her family pressure and stuff. And, of course, her husband. So I just thought that was really interesting that they're painting her in a different light when she was she was evil. She was horrible. They're all evil women with their estrogen.
Sound like my cousin Johnny.
It's like a weapon. How could they use it?
Keeping it all for
Terrible.
themselves.
They smell strange. Not like Don's fingers.
Really do, and there is a risk in just like lumping everybody together. There's a big difference between somebody like Kayleigh McEnany, who just like, this is what she does. She tells lies all the time. She can't acknowledge reality. So I'm just not going to put somebody like that on air. Now, I think a big challenge for the news media going forward is, what do you do about the 126 House?
This is the third time he's called her a liar.
With her big binder full of lies.
Yeah.
Just carrying that bitch around all the time.
Oh yeah, exactly. She's got it flagged, man. Bam. Oh yeah. Watch this shit. I love it when she does that, man.
I do too.
I wish she was staying.
Republicans, including a couple of the House Republican leaders, who signed on to this crazy Texas lawsuit that even conservative legal scholars were calling garbage and insanity. Like, what are we supposed to do with these people going forward, knowing that they are willing to sign on to something that dishonest? And not all of them did, by the way. There are a number of them who didn't. Kinzinger and Michael McCall. There are a bunch of congressmen who didn't. Liz Cheney, but there are a majority who did. What are we supposed to do with the knowledge that these people are willing to sign on to such garbage? And make no mistake, it is the president and his minions who are responsible, not the millions of people who have been.
They are the swamp, man.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Liz Cheney's now suddenly a fucking reliable source.
Lied to and misled. They have been misled. They need to be told the truth. And that's part of what we need to do in the news media, is try to help some of these people understand the truth once Trump goes away.
That's why I'm so critical of Fox, is that on Fox, that's the platform to tell a lot of these millions of people the truth, and oftentimes they fall down on the job. It does sound like you have some disappointment in some of your journalist colleagues around Washington from these past 4 years.
It's like,
I do. I think that we've been calling out lies from Donald Trump since 2015, 2016. And I remember the first time I did a homily or a murrow or a monologue, whatever you want to call it, was when he was going after Ted Cruz.
Remove a couple ribs so you can suck your own dick. Because I bet you that Jake here could tell us how long that takes and how much it costs.
Probably.
Oh my gosh!
It's like, I know a guy. I'll hook you up.
Weirdest mental image of that.
Yeah, see, Roasted comes in with the least expected shit sometimes. He is our slider.
His dad over the Kennedy assassination, that nonsense. And I said, this isn't a pro-Cruz position or an anti-Trump position. It's a pro-truth position. That was in, I think, spring 2016. And I think that position, the idea of, I'm going to take the stand, I don't care.
Yeah, did they have to take out an extra?
I don't care if you falsely label me a tool.
Right.
this is the truth. I think that Donald Trump succeeded with many of our colleagues in throwing the ball close to the batter so that they were scared.
If you come with
the brush ball, I think he scared people away, and I think a lot of our colleagues failed to rise to the challenge. Now, look, I also think there are people on the far left that went way too far, calling Trump Hitler, and I think people on the far right who defended every single thing he did, no matter what it was. I mean, but I'm not talking about the extremes right now when I talk about my disappointment.
You just claimed Hitler as far left. Good job, Jake.
Hitler.
That's the truth that you were talking about. Jake tapped out. Now go back in the back and go practice sucking your own dick some more off air so that you can do it better. And don't worry, it's small enough you can floss the gap in between your teeth.
And there you go.
He's gonna be in there for days.
Jake, thank you so much. Great talking with you.
Happy holidays, Brian.
You too. To begin by rewinding 4 years back to the very beginning, Trump's very first full day in office in January 2017. I know everyone remembers when President Trump freaked out about crowd size at his inauguration, but most people don't know that his fury was...
Check this out.
Sounds like he's got an anal plug
Listen specifically to what he says. All right?
Triggered by this segment on CNN.
What time?
It was at 5:19 in the morning on January 21st. Yep, crowd size gate started right here on this network. It was a short, accurate report, but it drove Trump up a wall.
It was a picture, that still photograph right there. They were saying that that's how many people were at the inauguration when it was it was packed. Right?
It was the first sign that his entire presidency will be ruled by what he saw on television. He screamed at Sean Spicer that day. He flipped the TV over to Fox. He felt better over there watching Fox and Friends. And the rest is history. That same day, Trump went to the CIA and stunned everyone by giving a rage-filled political speech on hallowed ground. The stars behind him represented agents who died in service of the country. And yet in this space, he said things like this.
Hallowed ground!
I have a running war.
Sorry.
What?
That clapping sound was my eardrums meeting in the middle of my head.
I was laughing at the hallowed ground thing. I'm sorry.
Hallowed ground.
War with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
Indeed.
A running war with the media. Back then, in 2017, media leaders wondered...
Gee, nothing about the applause. The deafening applause.
Trying to cut it off, man.
Dude.
Nothing about the thousands and thousands of guys that agree with him just in that room.
Damn, dude. Wow.
That's the scary part.
He's painting a picture. Okay? If you see the picture the way he wants you to, everything's good. If you don't see it the way he wants you to, it's bad. And we don't want bad because you don't know what happens when daddy gets mad.
Would he change? Would Trump grow into the role? We know the answer now. Historians one day will write that Trump's conduct deteriorated during his 4 years in office. He lied more and more dangerously as time went on. But his approach to the media was clear all along. He called major networks like CNN the enemy of the people after just 1 month in office. And as you can see in this chart from FactBase, he deployed those destructive words more and more often with every passing.
And he was right every time he wielded them. Yes.
Like it.
Exactly.
That's why I call this the fake news spiral. It goes down and down.
Stop playing scary music
just to give one example.
So you call it the fake news spiral, so the more that went on, the faker the news had to get.
Gayer the news had to get? I mean, like...
Faker, the dumber, the faggier, whatever word you want to use.
God, this is insane.
It is. It's almost like 1984. Up is down, black is white,
and down is left.
Left is right.
White House correspondent says something that's true, but hard to hear. And then Trump rejects it, and then he tells his fans to hate that guy, and then Fox News trashes the guy, and then everyone forgets what the real news report was all about to begin with, and we end up in a fake news spiral, where the people who need the information most are the ones least receptive to it. Trump loyalist Matt Schlapp said this to me one day in 2019. Schlapp is the chairman of the American Conservative Union. He said, Brian, when the media calls our president a liar, they make it impossible for 50% of the country to see you as unbiased.
This guy's a human.
Maybe so, Matt, but people who lie all the time are liars. A reporter who pretends the abnormal is normal, who pretends fiction is fact, that reporter becomes a liar.
No shit, son.
Right?
You name it, you claim it, motherfucker.
Pause. Look where you paused it. That's great. That was great.
He looks stoned, doesn't he? So, you know,
He looks like
he
he's
needs
very
pot.
If I
Just
pretend
saying.
I'm dry in the middle of a soaking rainstorm, then I'm a liar. But this is what causes the fake news spiral. It's a real problem. It was for 4 years, and it's not going away. Trump did damage on this front, and he was proud of the damage he did to media literacy. He told two of his friends, quote, I think that one of the most important things that I've done, especially for the public, is explain that a lot of the news is indeed fake. Well, for one subset of the public, he did. For his base. Disdain for the media is what glued his base together. So, a running war with the media. After 4 years, did Trump win or lose that war?
Right, exactly. Why are so many people agreeing with that? Is half the country just a bunch of dumbasses? Is that what he's saying?
According to them, yeah.
No, what he's okay. So they're operating from the assumption that people liked the media before Trump was in office, and the media has had a lower trustworthy rating than Congress.
No.
Since before 2001.
Yeah, no shit, man. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. That's funny.
Okay. Let's take both of our approval ratings, put it together, and maybe it'll equal 2%.
No doubt. This Brian has got to speak.
At war. Well, I would argue there are no winners. No one wins in a situation like that. What the press learned in the Trump era cannot be abandoned now, cannot be forgotten, cannot be neglected. I'm talking about the cowardice of certain political leaders, the hypocrisy, the racism, the resentment. I'm talking about the so-called whitelash, the backlash to a diversifying America. I'm talking about the willingness to lie and be lied to. These themes of the Trump years need more exploring in the years ahead. The press also needs to keep scrutinizing power structures and analyze the motivations of political players. We need to explain the greed, the fear, the vengeance that drives people, and understand the cultural forces that make a strong man possible. Understand the business forces that take advantage of a populist movement. This is what journalism is meant to expose, meant to bring out into the light, to make sure everyone can see it, everyone can know who and what they are voting for. And there is a long, rich history of this kind of journalism in America. Truth to power journalism, adversarial, muckraking coverage. We saw lots.
Truth to power, yeah.
First, you freaking idiot.
Yeah. He looks like a hippie, doesn't he? Truth to power, yeah.
The truth to power thing was super gay. It's when I have to go.
I mean, Jesus
I'm getting
Christ.
off the ride now, guys. I need to get off the ride.
It's not 1968, y'all. Just saying.
Wipe the sweat out of his chair.
Yeah.
Truth to power. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lots of it in the Trump years. Lots of it was necessary. And Trump was a catalyst, but the need will not fizzle out when Trump flies to Mar-a-Lago. This hard-edged approach, this adversarial approach, should be here to stay. If the sky is blue, and Joe Biden claims it is orange, then by all means the press has to call that out. And I believe the press will. The assignment is to keep telling the American story, even the ugly parts that in some ways have been revealed over the past few years. The prejudice, and the poverty and the pain.
I mean, to be fair, they are
this pandemic continues.
Calling it out for 5 years, and we stopped believing you 4.5 years ago.
Well, and there's been imposition or implication. Yeah, that they're going to change now that Biden's in office. They're going to give him
they want to unify and shit. Fuck off. They don't want that unification shit. It's all just a farce. And
they're going to throw him softballs, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kamala takes over, they're going to tickle her balls, just like they did Obama's.
Right, they're going to be like, sell more shit to China.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, all right.
All right.
She's going to make a bunch of money off of it.
She's
yeah,
say,
no shit.
Okay, Homer. You know?
To steal lives, so many lives. And more than 20 million people are unemployed in the United States. Some parents are unable to feed their children. Those are the stories that count.
Okay, so why do we have the guy with an extra set of chins?
Not for Donald Trump, not for Joe Biden. The press works for them. Works for all of us, so we can better understand each other. Let's bring in 4 veterans.
Yeah, he should donate some of his ice cream to them.
Maybe that was a little like rude or obvious. I don't know.
What did
when
you
I
say?
See a guy with, when I see a guy with double chins, chastising people about hungry children, I get kind of fucking mad.
I heard that.
Or I want to laugh at him really hard. One of the two.
That man has never driven past a Krispy Kreme without stopping in his life.
Right? Or having his limo driver stop.
Well, it's just, look, it doesn't matter if he does. I'm all about fat acceptance and all that shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's the moral superiority. You know, this and I mean, it's like, who in the fuck does he think he's fooling? Exactly, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so now it's going to talk to these four people about their experience of the past 4 years, because aren't they bad?
Of the Trump White House press briefing room, Jim Acosta, Abby Phillip, Caitlin Collins, and Jeremy Diamond. So, Jim, to you first, as our chief White House correspondent. You were there for the Obama years. You've been there for the Trump years.
Yes,
we know that Trump's anti-media rhetoric, his words, were disturbing, but it also bled into actions. He tried to take away funding from PBS. He moved against Amazon, making moves that were suspected to be moves against Jeff Bezos, because Bezos owns the Washington Post. He took action, his DOJ took action against AT&T when AT&T was moving to buy CNN and the rest of Time Warner. It goes on and on. Lawsuits against TV stations, etc. These were not just words, they were actions. What stood out to you most?
I mean, I think all of those are perfect examples of what President Trump was trying to do, try to accomplish during his 4 years in office. And I think what he was trying to accomplish, Brian, is move the United States in the direction of what I describe as state-supported media. We see this happen in other parts of the world. Where
Are you fucking kidding me?
Krispy Kreme.
Oh
what
my
the
God.
Fuck? Where did you get to there? Like, that escalated quickly.
Right.
No doubt, dude. And the deal is that this is the Chinese media that we're watching.
Yeah, they belong to the Chinese.
They definitely belong to the Chinese.
Where you see countries like Russia and so on drift away from having some semblance of a free and independent press.
As a matter of fact, I had a whole China package for this thing tonight, and I decided to use it. I'm going to use it on Monday with the communism thing, because, man, it's amazing. It just blows my mind. All the bullshit that, I mean, they're just saying, hey, we're doing this shit. You know, get over it, okay?
Right. People will accept it.
Exactly. There's a guy that brags that by 2027 that they will have control over us.
Jeez.
Us to essentially state-controlled or state-supported media. The president showing preference for outlets like Fox News and OAN and so on, while trying to punish institutions like the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, and the major news networks. I think he was trying to cow the rest of the country into the direction of having either a pro-Trump media or an anti-Trump media.
Abby, you were at the Washington Post at the very beginning of the Trump years and then joined CNN. The Post was another outlet that was the subject of Trump's ire, just like CNN. Was it different in some ways at a newspaper versus a television network?
Yeah, it's different in a lot of ways. I mean, I think we all know that this president is very focused on television and particularly cable TV, and so the degree of scrutiny that he would place on CNN was, I think, pretty unique in a certain way. I mean, he also has a pretty significant amount of negativity directed at the Washington Post for all kinds of reasons. But you know, being on television is for President Trump often the most important thing, and so he really fixated on what was being said on our air, what was being said from the North Lawn, and also his aides. It's almost a little bit of a game within the administration to channel the president's behavior toward news networks like CNN, with his senior aides sort of acting out in that way as well.
Jeremy, what were press relations like with the Trump White House press shop, with the press secretaries and the deputies and the aides? How would you characterize it?
I would characterize it in the sense that they were overshadowed by everything that the president did day in and day out. I would say in the earlier parts of this administration, the storyline was often that the press shop was trying to do one thing, trying to plan out a message, trying to strategize. Infrastructure Week, of course, became the epitome of that because it happened so...
All right, so here's what they're doing. They're saying that the White House would weekly go on some kind of propaganda campaign, and what they're doing is they're explaining their reasoning for approaching doing the news the way they have. It's some twisted shit, man. It's retarded as hell.
Backtracking.
They're going full motherfucking retard.
many times without anything ever getting done. So that was the storyline initially, with the president kind of undermining his own press shop. But then in the later years, I would say that it just became that the press shop really was someone you went to for comment, to kind of tick a box. But it was rare for the press shop to actually engage with us on substantive storylines in a way that the president wouldn't. Really, I think we got to a place where the press shop really was no substitute for what the president himself.
Yeah, none of them would stab the president in the back. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah. Because the only stories they considered substantive were stories that would bury the Trump presidency.
Right.
Yep.
Self was saying, and frankly, given the amount of access that we did have to the president during these last 4 years.
What?
Negative coverage only.
Yep.
There's no substitute for a comment from the president himself. And so the ability to ask him questions on a regular basis was obviously much more important to me, and I think to my colleagues here, than whether or not the press shop was going to ultimately give us a comment.
I do like the truck backing up in the background.
He was the most accessible president ever in my lifetime. And they still bitched and bitched. And then when he became too accessible, it was too much for them.
Well, they started bitching because when he was doing daily press briefings back in late winter, early spring 2020, all those daily press briefings, his polling numbers were going up day by day. They were going up another 0.2 of a point every single time he did a press briefing. So they started pissing and hollering because he was on the TV all the time. Well, it's not fair. It's free press. He's the freaking president of the United States. Do you want him to brief us while we're having a crisis or not? Or should he just say, hey, check in with CNN to find out whether or not the bombs are coming?
Yeah, no shit,
and then what happened as soon as he pulled back? As soon as he pulled back on the briefings, they turned around and bitched, saying, we're not hearing anything from the president or his campaign.
Yeah, they just shut down, man.
Oh my goodness.
You'd be mad. They would be mad if he came over to their house and shit in their toilet, and they'd be just as mad if he came over to their house and didn't shit in their toilet because he considered it to be rude.
Exactly.
No matter what he does, he's screwed.
Right.
Yep.
So
damned if you
the
do.
only solution is don't come to your house. I'm not playing your game.
Don't play. Exactly. It's like that movie War Games. The only way to win is to not play.
Exactly.
That perhaps didn't mean much because it might get stomped on by the president.
Check this out.
Right, or contradicted by the president. And going a step further there, Caitlin, were there times where the press shop would lie, would deceive? I think what we were used to pre-Trump, with the Obama White House, for example, was spin. A lot of spin from the White House. But was it different from this White House press shop?
Certainly. I think it's different than any other press shop that's existed in politics before, because there's always a little bit of tension between the reporters and those who are speaking on behalf of a politician, because often you're asking the questions that they don't want to answer. But the way that the press secretaries who worked for Donald Trump took it to a different level was often their attacks were personal, or they took it personally when you asked them tough questions about something that the president himself had said, someone they willingly went to go work for, and of course were doing so while getting a paycheck from taxpayers. And I think we saw a little bit of a different iteration of that with every press secretary. Of course, Sean Spicer set the bar.
How dare they bring up getting paid by taxpayers when Nancy Pelosi's pulled all the bullshit she has this year? And Adam Schiff and fucking Schumer. It's like, that's amazing, isn't it?
That was grade A victim blaming right
Yeah,
there.
taxpayer paid their fucking salary. Okay,
incredibly low with the way he began his tenure as press secretary. We certainly saw it in between with Sarah Sanders, with Stephanie Grisham, who refused to brief the press at all. But it really culminated with Kayleigh McEnany being the last press secretary for Trump, having probably the most adversarial relationship with reporters, to where, as Jeremy was...
No. She threw the facts back at him, and she exposed their bullshit every fucking time. They hated her guts because she did that. Exactly.
I love her binder of facts. Love it.
Yeah, if you know somebody who's a compulsive liar and you keep confronting them the fact that you know they're lying, it pisses them off.
Yes, it does.
Just saying.
Noting, having a press secretary almost seemed irrelevant because they weren't answering your questions, whether behind the scenes or on camera, in any kind of substantive way.
Trump's presidency unfolded in two parallel universes of media, two parallel universes of information. And that made the job of journalists in some ways more complicated, more interesting. I want to get an anchorman's assessment now from Jake Tapper, of course, the anchor of The Lead and State of the Union here on CNN. Jake, great to see you.
Hey, Brian, good to see you.
I've heard you recently talk about MAGA media. That's a reference to the Foxes and the Breitbarts, all of these websites and networks that propped up the Trump presidency. Because there has been this MAGA media, did it change how you...
All these websites, you can count on one hand, you know, oh my God. Okay. So, Jake, I'm not liking Jake.
Did your job in the Trump years?
Well, you had to know that there was this alternate universe where things that were true were being portrayed in the exact opposite way, and things that were false were being portrayed as true. But I don't know how much it influenced how I did my job. It was just important to know that it was there. And you know, and I said...
So he just admitted that there was two universes at the same time. So is he mentally ill, or is he being, I'm being sarcastic. But.
No, he's absolutely right. There was an alternate universe where falsehood was being portrayed as fact. It's called CNN.
Dude, we hadn't been in the right universe for fucking 50 years, y'all. Just saying. So, yeah.
MAGA media, because it's not really right to call it conservative media. There's a lot of conservative media that did not bend the knee for President Trump. And it's not really accurate to call it necessarily even right-wing media, because it's just those shows and channels and publications and websites that are just devoted to the prospect that President Trump can do no wrong and his critics can do no right. So that's why I use the term.
How do you think Trump changed CNN over these 4 years? You know, I see on the air more monologues than I did before. I do them, you do them, different ways to tell stories.
Different ways to tell your opinion. Or somebody's opinion. I don't know.
Different ways to tell stories?
Different ways to tell stories. Because he's a storyteller.
How do you think he changed us?
Well, that's a tough one. Look, I mean, Donald Trump, because of his disruptions and the way he disrupted just how...
Did you see that look on his face? It's like, well, how honest do you really want me to be, man? Right?
Presidents and public figures behave. And his actions, too, changed the way that the news media writ large behaves. In terms of, he hated not being in the news. So there was constantly... not just on his Twitter feed, but in terms of presidential actions and rallies, and there was just this constant need to be the center of attention. And the news media basically granted him that wish, although not necessarily in the way he wanted. We felt, in many ways, the need to do more aggressive fact check.
Is it all right? Am I remembering this correctly, or did Brian Stelter not go through all of his tweets and point out all of President misspellings in the tweets? That was Brian Stelter that did that. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering, man. Of course, but it's not trivial or anything. Because they've got substantive, news about the president to talk about and to present to everybody. Like going through his tweets and pointing out every misspelled word.
The monologues, the whatever you call them on Sunday, we call them homilies. Well, on Sunday we call them homilies, and during the week we call them murrows. But that's just a nickname for what we call them.
Was Jake Tapper Catholic? You think he was an altar boy?
No.
Yeah. Can you see him? Altering that boy.
It's basically a time to just turn to the camera and just present some facts in a way that might clear up where there is obfuscation, whether it's about matters of decency or matters of fact. So that's how, I don't know that we're going to have the need to continue to do those quite the same way in a Biden.
I want to say, this is CNN.
Man, I used to love James Earl Jones's voice. It's awesome.
Administration, maybe we will. I mean, maybe he'll be. Look, before Donald Trump came along, Joe Biden was known as a fairly gaffe-prone individual. Known for sticking his foot in his mouth all the time. I don't think he was known as somebody who was indecent necessarily, but we'll see. Look, I mean,
he can't even read a fucking teleprompter.
What's this guy watching? It's bullshit.
Yeah,
What
it is.
reality?
A fairly
from-
gaffe-prone guy. The guy talked about the little kids touching his legs when he was working as a lifeguard.
blonde
That's
hair.
not gaffe-prone.
Now,
That's
Uzi-
something that should be investigated. And the
Yeah,
guy
sure.
definitely shouldn't have been elected to office. He probably should have been taken right back out of office if he was already in.
Imagine if
But
it
you
was
guys
Trump.
ignored it.
Imagine what they would have done if it was Trump.
Right.
Right? I mean, you saw what they did when he got the coup. You know,
Yeah, they claimed that everybody that got it would have
fucking
mental
loved it,
problems.
right? Yeah, man, they were talking about steroid craziness and shit. And that was from fucking. That came from fucking the owner of CNN, Zuckerberg or Zuckerman or whatever the fuck his name is, Zuckersuck. Yes, Zucker means sucker, right? I'm sorry. Anyway, we get back on the track, y'all.
I guess it's entirely possible that this will happen, and we'll be doing it. But I kind of suspect that news media coverage will change as a more, quote unquote, normal president takes office, whether it's, Joe Biden in 2021 or, Nikki Haley in 2025, whatever. I mean, I think generally there will be a return to some sort of non-Trump obsessive coverage.
Trump's coming back.
Yeah, I'm curious what you make of expectations past January 21st, right? So what happens after Inauguration Day and Trump is either at Mar-a-Lago or somewhere else in Florida? Will you, on your programs, cover his tweets? Will you focus on what he says? Have you thought about that editorial judgment?
I mean, I'll cover him the same way I covered any other former president, which is to say a little bit, but not to a large degree. I mean, I have covered Barack Obama and George W. Bush and Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter and George H.W. Bush. I mean, they have been people I have covered on my show. I mean, they have not dominated my coverage in any way, and I don't anticipate that Donald Trump will either once he's a former president.
It's going to be so different, right? He's maybe going to have a network or a streaming service or at least a big Twitter platform, and he's going to be throwing darts at Biden every day, and he's going to be lying about what's going on in the new administration. So there's going to be an entire media apparatus that does take that very seriously, as you said, the MAGA media.
Then they can do that. I'll focus on the news of the day, whether that's the pandemic or the new administration or foreign policy. I mean, I'm sure that he will try to remain as much in the news as possible, but the truth of the matter is he will not be as relevant.
Do you remember early in the Trump years that it was controversial to say he was lying? There were all these debates in newsrooms about when and whether and how to use the L word, when something was a lie, more than a fib or a falsehood, but an outright lie. Of course, over the years, Trump's lying became more and more pervasive, more and more egregious. And that is why Daniel Dale became the journalistic version of a star. Dale was fact-checking Trump before it was cool, so to speak. He was well known as a true teller of the Toronto Star. He was the DC bureau chief early on in the Trump years.
Before it was cool, man. That's crazy, isn't it, man?
Being Brian Stelter is punk rock. Don't you guys know?
Being Brian Stelter is being excellent. Because he's awesome. I did my own makeup.
Doing these fact checks. And he joined CNN in June of last year, continuing to clock Trump's false and misleading claims time and time again. So many articles we can barely keep track. And as I mentioned, Dale's gotten a lot of...
I could give James Charles a roll for his money. A run for his money. A roll for his money. I could roll him in the dough.
Attention for this. You've probably seen some of the stories, some of the praise for his work, because so many Americans, so many people around the world have been hungry for fact checks. Let me bring Dale in now for a conversation about what these 4 years have been like. Daniel, do you think fact check is the best word, or is it reality checking at this point? What is it that you do?
I think fact check is fine. I think the broader piece is where we take a step back and look at the dishonest narratives rather than a particular claim. You can
this dude is the official fact checker for CNN.
He looks like the dude from Big Bang Theory.
Oh my God.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, listen to this shit, man.
Sheldon.
And I think Brian and this guy go to the same church, if you know what I'm saying.
All that reality checking or something of the like. Fundamentally, whatever you call it, it's about providing readers, viewers with the truth behind the lies and other deceptions, if you don't want to use the word lies, that they're getting from the president and other public officials.
What about you and the word lies? I mean, this used to be a big deal. People would debate this for hours and hours. And now I don't hear those debates anymore.
You know what? I would disagree there. I think that in many newsrooms, thankfully not ours, not at CNN, but I think in much of this country, newsrooms are still to this day, at the end of the Trump presidency, reluctant or even unwilling to use the word lie. Certainly in news copy, they might leave it to the columnist. They might leave it to
bullshit. All we ever hear about is how Trump lies. He's a big fucking liar. And when they keep count of how many times he's lied, they use the same clip over and over again in different segments, and they count that as a lie.
Yeah.
Phony.
You're a big fat phony.
You have little hands and an orange face when we Photoshop you.
The editorial board in those realms, it's fine. But I think objectively, it could and should be in a news story every day about President Donald Trump, and it still isn't happening. Thankfully, CNN took a different approach from the beginning. In my negotiations with CNN to come over here from the Toronto Star, I asked them, is it okay if I keep saying lie? You're fine with that? And they're like, oh yeah, no, that's cool, that's accurate. So that was a big relief to me, and I think it says something that I didn't just take that for granted, because other newsrooms aren't the same way.
Yeah, come to think of it, you are right about that. There is.
Sheldon didn't say anything stupid enough for Brian to call him on.
Did you hear him say that he worked at the Toronto Star and he was worried about using the word liar, coming from there, and they said it was fine? And it was like, well, okay, so the Toronto Star actually has like ethical journalism going on there, maybe?
Apparently.
Is that possibly what he meant?
Possibly.
Lordy God.
Still some reluctance to just bluntly say what is going on. I remember when he lied about Alabama during Hurricane Dorian, and he claimed that Alabama was at risk of being hit by a hurricane, and showing the National Weather Service graphics, showing the maps was the best way to debunk his claims about Alabama. Also, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe a lot of these events happened. Our job is to call lies and stand on the side of truth. It shouldn't be hard. Like you said, it's not the hardest job in the world, as long as we keep our backbone on, our backup straight.
That's exactly right. I think for a lot of reporters and even beyond reporters, for editors, publishers, CEOs, people who run media outlets, I think for a lot of them it's like, well, we're going to be called biased if we say in our news copy that someone is lying, or even if we don't use the word lie, even if we say in the news copy that someone is not telling the truth or saying something false. And so I've tried really hard to argue that calling a lie, or a falsehood if you're afraid of the word lie, that's not bias. That is objective truth. That's objective reporting. And when we shy away from that, Brian, I think it does damage to readers and viewers' trust in us, because readers and viewers want people, journalists, who tell it like it is. And if we're
unless it's Biden, right? Unless it's Pelosi,
right?
Unless it's Adam Schiff,
somebody they favor.
Yep.
Bastards.
Unless it's Schumer, unless it's AOC, unless it's Ayanna Pressley, unless it's any member of the squad, unless it's the governor of California.
Gretchen.
Unless it's
we got some Gavin. Yeah, we got Gavin coming up in a little bit. So
we're afraid to tell it like it is. I think that erodes our credibility with a significant segment of the population.
It sure does. I mean, the trend right now is toward asymmetric lying. One side lying a lot more than the other. Now, if it flips, if Biden turns out to be the biggest
asymmetric lying. New term, y'all.
Okay, out there, then you'll be back on this program pretty soon telling us. But we just have to keep telling it like it is.
It would almost be easier if Biden was an equal liar to Trump, for me, because then I could go and sort of showily demonstrate, look, I'm independent, I'm treating them the exact same way. The fact is, though, that Biden is not the same, and so the coverage of Biden is going to be equally rigorous, but the final product when we cover Biden is not going to be the same.
Right, not the same volume, Daniel, thank you so much. Looking back at news coverage of the last 4 years, 4 overwhelming years of politics, one word that probably wasn't used enough is narcissist. Do you know what I mean? Another word the press probably should use more often is narcissism. Trump's obsession with media, especially news coverage of himself, was a defining feature of the past 4 years. All of these news stories here talk about his obsession with news coverage, of the economy, of his rallies, of his impeachment, etc. And this addiction gave his favorite network, Fox News, an enormous amount of power. As I wrote in my book Hoax earlier this year, the joke around Fox was that Trump watched more of the network's programming than management did. According to my sources, Trump aide Hope Hicks hated the drumbeat of stories about the president being glued to Fox. She thought it made him look ill-informed and small. The problem was the stories were accurate. By 2020, I reported that numerous executives at Fox wished Trump would watch less TV. There's something there about a Frankenstein and about what you've created and it turning against you. I don't know. But let's continue the conversation about Trump's media habits with Jeremy Diamond, Caitlin Collins, Jim Acosta.
Who did he suck off to get this job is what I want to know.
Supposed to be a theory,
I'm serious, man. It's like he's not a journalist. What is he? You can't. There's not a word. Yeah, exactly. He's an opinionator.
He's the penguin.
He's an opinionator. Is what I'm gonna call him. the redneck in me really wants to call him an opinionator.
And Abby Phillip.
I don't know why.
Caitlin Collins, you joined CNN from the Daily Caller in 2017. I remember early on you were on Reliable Sources as a Daily Caller White House correspondent, certainly a right-wing website, Tucker Carlson's website. So to go from there to CNN is really interesting, first of all. Second, I wonder if you have a unique way of viewing Trump's obsession with right-wing media and how it affected his presidency.
Well, I think also the transformation you saw among right-wing media was often you saw some of them become anti-Trump, and they were often taking the role, not always as reporters, but also defending the president, which is something that you hadn't seen in the level that we saw during Donald Trump's time in office, and it often became something he relied on. You know, just the other day he tweeted that he thought the biggest difference in the election in 2016 and 2020 was not the pandemic and the way he handled it and how voters thought about that, but was Fox News. And so you saw how the president really did rely on them and often thought that the reason he was getting poor coverage was not because of something he had done or something he had said. It was because he believed the media was pitted against him. And I think something I learned going from a website like the Daily Caller to coming to work at CNN and how you viewed things before was really how Donald Trump loves the media and just how his relationship with them can be behind the scenes. Because yes, sometimes his frustration is genuine. You know, he had yelled at me at a few briefings and I'd gotten heads up from officials before, you know, the president really isn't happy with you today, so you're be warned. But oftentimes, Brian, the president had a very good relationship with reporters.
Oh my gosh, is she really this dumb? How far up her ass is her head?
Not far enough.
Oh my gosh, the media did it a good thing.
Often like to chat with reporters off the record at the back of the plane on Air Force One as they came back from those Trump rallies that we were just talking about, where he would often yell at reporters. And that's something that viewers at home and the Trump supporters at home don't always recognize.
Yeah, Abby, I played that clip earlier of Trump saying he was in a running war with the media, but this was also sometimes a love affair with certain outlets. He relied so extensively on Fox News. I, of course, think that did him a disservice. I think all that misinformation on Fox ended up hurting him, but he thought it was helping him.
It's so romantic, isn't it?
And I wonder going forward if, you know, every president will have these favorite outlets that they just use and only rely on to give interviews. You know, it's amazing looking back, Abby, that President Trump never gave a single interview to CNN in his 4 years in office. So he had a real divide between the Maria Bartiromos and Sean Hannity's, who he relied on, versus the CNNs that he used as his foils.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that there can be a debate about whether, you know, this whole reliance on Fox News' echo chamber will backfire on Republicans in general and perhaps Trump in particular. But, you know, I do think that the president used it in a way that was unlike anything that we've ever seen in the history of the presidency. He had a news outlet that was an extension of his campaign, an extension of his administration, that was out there every day, not only echoing what he had to say about things, but also...
So she's basically calling them Pravda. Right? You know, or Novosti.
Yep.
Dude.
Planting ideas in his mind that then became part of the official agenda. That is an extraordinary relationship that I hope, frankly, never continues. It is unhealthy for the media to be in that kind of environment. I don't think that you will see, for example, a Biden administration following in that mold. But you know, at the same time, you know, I think President Trump believes that the media ought to be pro or anti a particular public figure. He always resented media that was not explicitly in favor of his presidency or his agenda, and he just had a twisted view of the role that the media played. And perhaps this goes back to his relationship with sort of tabloid media in New York, but that is the view that he brought with him to the White House. It may not end with him, but I certainly hope, and I do expect, that future administrations will not have that kind of toxic relationship, because it's corrosive to our democracy.
It's a propaganda pipeline. It certainly is on the right. Jeremy, Jim, Abby, thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
Caitlin had to jump for some breaking news, but I texted her to say, what are all those beeping noises behind you? She said that they are working on inauguration preparations at the White House. Construction underway for...
Oh, guess what? They're taking all that shit down now because they're not going to have an inauguration party like they did 4 years ago because of the coof.
Okay, so why are they talking about all this shit? I thought, like,
well, seeing this,
Arizona's getting flipped, and like, what the hell's going on?
Who knows? You know, it's like I'm reading all kinds of shit, and you know, I don't know what's glow in the dark, you know, psyop shit. I don't know what's misdirection, and you know, it's really hard to tell. You know, Operation Mockingbird was a thing, y'all, and it's still in effect. They're still working it
For
out.
Joe Biden's inauguration. Jim, everyone remembers the day that your press pass was revoked, the legal battle that ensued. But, that was just the most visible of a series of confrontations and standoffs between the press and the press shop. Whatever Trump wanted trickled down. And they tried to revoke Brian Karen's press pass. Then there was another court battle. Every time these things happened, Trump lost. And yet, was there still a chilling effect? Do you think it still did damage?
Oh, it certainly did damage. I mean, no question about it. And the thing that I warned about the entire time we were covering Donald Trump is, to the conservatives out there who were cheering him on as he was revoking press passes and booting people out of events like what happened with Caitlin and so on. Listen, a Democratic president could come in, a Democratic administration could come in and do the very same thing to members of the press that they care about. And so to me, it's just sort of an arms race that we don't need in covering American politics. Donald Trump did not just do this all on his own in the way he lashed out at the press and went after the press. They were taxpayer-funded employees of the federal government, paid for with your tax dollars, who are out there retaliating against reporters too. And keep in mind, it's not just what was going on inside the White House, the president and his people. There were Trump supporters all over the country absorbing this hostility that the president was directing at the press, and then lashing at us as well. And in ways that made us feel endangered. I am not the only reporter who covered this White House who has had death threats. There have been a number of us who have experienced death threats. We can't be at a place in this country, Brian, where political reporters, White House correspondents, and so on need bodyguards to go cover political campaign events and so on. And so it's more than just pulling a press pass or yelling at a reporter at a press conference or calling somebody names like we heard President Trump do with Abby from time to time.
They're so stunning and brave. What victims these motherfuckers are. I've gotten all this wrong. I am so wrong. They're victims, and I should have seen that. I should have seen that, and I didn't.
You were all blinded.
We were blinded by the lies. The Cheeto flavored and colored out lies.
It is just a pervasive hostility towards the president, anti-democratic hostility towards the press that I just hope we never see the likes of ever again. It is just so damaging and destructive for our democracy.
Right, multiple reporters were shoved and assaulted at various Trump rallies and events. At the same time, let me just add, and Jeremy, you've been interviewing Trump voters for 5 years, so you know better than I. A lot of Trump voters wanted this. They wanted to see Jim Acosta there on the lawn with you treated as a hate object. So that's something we have to square. We have to square that circle as a country.
Yeah, there certainly was a blood sport aspect to it that the president's supporters bought into and relished in seeing. We saw that at the rally.
Ooh, blood sports!
Every time any of us attend one of the rallies, there's always that part during the rally where the president points out the press in the back and directs everybody to roundly begin booing and insulting and all kinds of different things towards the press. That has become a normal part of the show his mouth moving. And I guess the difference is, we saw that during the 2016 campaign. It's just very different once it becomes elevated to the level of the president of the United States. And I worry most not about what it says to us and the impact that it has on us as White House correspondents, but really about the message that it sends to the world and to our colleagues who are reporting abroad in far more dangerous situations, and the signal that it sends to dictators around the world who you have seen employ now the very same rhetoric of the president of the United States, fake news, enemy of the people, all of those kinds of...
Brian Stelter is the clone of Dom DeLuise, if y'all remember who that is. Yeah, Dom DeLuise
was much smaller.
Yeah,
he was smoking independent.
But and probably gay too.
Things are words that dictators and tyrants around the world are now using to try and discredit good journalism that is shedding a light on things happening in those countries. And that to me is the most disheartening part of the president's attacks.
That's right. We're talking about words turning into actions. CPJ reporting this month a record number of journalists around the world imprisoned in 2020.
You know what we're going to do? I think we're just going to pop back into the green room. It's already 1 my time, so that means 2 Eastern. Dude, it's been a quickie. You know what? I might do an hour tomorrow night because I got a coof reel here, and we could probably eat up an hour with that.
Fuck yeah!
All right. So I'll put the word out tomorrow, and it'll probably be from 10 till 11 Central. So I'll be from 11 to 12 Eastern. So make room for Mr. Send people to AP because we like AP. AP's fam. And
Okay.
All right. All right. So we're at the point of where everybody shills and chills.
Well,
You start out with Tema.
Tema doesn't have nothing to show right now because Tema's frustrated with the other social media platforms, and with the holidays, I just kind of check out. So hopefully soon I will be doing things and stuff again. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully soon. Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, and there's no accelerated deconstruction tomorrow because Excel's with his friend who's a female, but there's nothing going on between them. So
Already.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
You remember? Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, he's getting his yearly horizontal bopping down, right? So all right, Becca, shill yourself.
I have early just Becca tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central, and then again 8 p.m. Central on Sunday. Random people will be on. I don't even know who yet. We'll figure it out as we go along.
Hey, roasted?
That's how I roll.
That's right.
I actually put out a video earlier tonight.
I noticed that.
Goodbye to 2020. If you haven't seen it yet, by all means, go on over to my channel real quick. Take 10 minutes and watch it and let me know what you think.
It's like a goodbye, good riddance. 2020 and really about 6 months before that can suck my rectum until until I prolapse. Smoking Monkey.
2020 can kiss my entire ass.
No shit.
Oh yeah. Chill wise. What everybody else said, just do it because I said so.
Yeah.
Well, yes, sir. Sweet. And Trippypoop.
I'll just get my Sunday show at 11 p.m. EST. I remember that part of this time. Yep,
Oh, sweet.
Sunday show. I don't know what we're doing.
All right.
Probably a big group of people.
So we'll have CREEM STREEM 155.2 tomorrow night. You can get an hour in, have some fun,
There you go.
and then get it out, get in, get out, and then Sunday I'll be talking with Doku, and then Monday Becca and I'll be talking about China and modern stuff about China, news oriented shit. So China.
Talking about that red
Communist, not necessarily the Chinese people, but the Chinese Communist Party and all the shit that they're up to.
Oh
So,
shit! You guys talking about red dust? Oh shit!
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So, and what we're going to do is go back to the intro video. Tell everybody goodbye. We're leaving.
Bye.
Brian says bye. Later, fam. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night, and we'll finish this here thing. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.